Every answer generates further questions.
I wanted to point out first that I'm very happy to be here this evening.
Woof!
China is asshole!
I know it's enough. I know you need my love. Come on, I'll teach you again. See ya.
Joe!
Uh-oh, you're too wicked for me. You don't understand what is love. Frogs need to hibernate. Wake up if you're in the trouble.
Ridiculous.
That's what she said.
Don't be a victim. Try the Walther. You'll be glad you did.
And I don't really have time for journalism. So please leave me alone.
Their primary goals is, one, acquire as much U.S. land as you can, and number two, gather as much and collect U.S. currency as possible.
President Xi has publicly stated that the West is declining and China is ascending.
Am I Xi?
It was foisted upon us by, again, to some degree, and by some I mean all degree, the communist Chinese government.
They had 60 greenhouses and they put one family per greenhouse to run it. Each family had a 10 by 10 room.
Call me Gorlock.
I don't want to.
You'll call me Gorlock and you'll like it.
Gorlock.
That's for the soundboard. Hey, my question to you before we get to what are your thoughts on constitutional carry? Because this is an area where sometimes people don't fully understand where they line up as conservatives and federalism. Do you think it's a state issue? Spoiler, it's not. That's foreshadowing.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, you can call me Steinbeck.
Steinbeck.
We have a lot to get to here today, and tomorrow, by the way, is the special on the Oklahoma grow farms and the Communist Chinese Party buying up American land. And if you want more of that, of course, you can always support us at Mug Club. None of this investigative journalism happens without you. So today we'll be talking about the squad's really bad week. I don't know at what point people should be deported for treason, but I think look behind you. There's the line.
Yep.
Constitutional carry and their effects on crime rates. It always gets worse. Where they say Republicans and conservatives don't want to study gun crime. No, we don't want you to politicize it. Whenever there's an objective study, they go, crap. So in Ohio, we know the results. Take a guess, and then we're going to be talking about a longevity guru who wants to change humanity in crazy ways, and Gorlock the Destroyer. Is a deserter. That'll make sense when you...
That's fitting.
When you get to it. How are you doing, number 2, Captain Morgan, CEO?
I'm doing better. I feel like I've turned a bit of a corner. I still sound bad.
Have you?
Or good, depending.
Yeah, now I have it again.
You do? But it
My
was
throat.
You said you had a sore throat. I didn't have a sore throat. I just have a voice that sounds like I have a sore throat. So I didn't give it to you.
It's not all about you, Gerald. I have a sore throat.
Yeah, but you're trying to blame me.
So, yes. Third chair, when you hear this, you know who it is. And Friday, Saturday, March 1st and 2nd, he's going to be at the Louisville Comedy Club. You can see all of his other dates, BryanCallen.com, and watch the show here on Mug Club Off Limits every Tuesday. Mr. Callen, how are you?
Groundbreaking podcast, Off Limits.
Yes.
Groundbreaking. Yeah.
Louisville, come out only if you like laughing hard without breaks for over an hour. You know what I mean, Steven?
Yeah.
Know what
Also,
I mean?
if you hate yourself and want to spend time in Louisville.
Hey, listen.
The Comedy Club is great.
It is great.
The city is awful. I watched a man die.
Did you watch a man die?
Yeah, well, I watched them try to revive a man who died with Narcan.
I've done that after I choke him out in jiu-jitsu.
This was a man's life, Brian.
Oh, is that what it was?
It's no laughing matter.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Not everything's a joke.
I think it was interesting that Steven said something. He said, I have a little tickle in my throat, and I think it's because I'm allergic to feathers. And I thought to myself, well, my thought cloud was, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't mean to
I think
shame.
the gayest thing I've ever heard in my life is talking about choking out a homeless man in Kentucky because it's thoughtless
I never.
and it's inconsiderate.
Homeless? You mean unhoused neighbor?
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
The progressive meter just hit red hot
I
here.
agree. He's doing the whole Mao, population control. Get rid of the unhoused neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a good neighbor, homeless rapist is there. Let's go to
Gorlock the Destroyer.
Gorlock the Destroyer.
I had to intro that. I'm sorry.
So this is making the rounds here. A massive trans influencer. Oh, by the way, before I go into anything, I should say,
I was going to say,
if at some point today, which will probably happen during this segment, you see or hear this, head on over to Rumble because we don't want to be on YouTube anyway. We won't self-censor, but you can still watch it there because it burns to head to Rumble for some of you. So a massive trans influencer, some would say rotund, portly.
Massive.
Double entendre.
Ali Lopez, commonly referred to as, you probably know this person as Gorlock the Destroyer. One does.
Oh, yeah.
This went viral yesterday with this trans activist complaining about the lack of masculine men.
Oh, boy.
A lot of men expecting women in the relation, especially when they're in committed relationships already, like they expect the women to go above and beyond and like them just almost do nothing. And I feel like it's something that I see a lot outside of social media. I also love when like there is a little bit of like a little bit of a gender role in a relationship. I'm not a big fan of toxic masculinity or like whatever, like the norms, I guess. But I like when there's just like a little bit of that.
We know you don't like norms.
Like I'm the man and I'm going to take charge, What? Like, because like, why not, I feel like a lot of boys are going to start being boys, though. Like, when it comes to, like, the male roles. Because a lot of, like,
it's like a Buffalo Bill type situation.
Are expecting princess treatment. And it's like, okay, well, I want that energy just as bad as you do. For example, like, let's say I get a flat tire on the side of the road.
Eat it.
And we're together. You better know how to change that tire.
Steve.
You better know how to change that tire.
You better know how to do these things. Because if I have to call my dad, just like I said,
he wouldn't answer.
He's not coming.
No.
Sorry,
babe.
Yeah, sorry, babe.
No rush into anything. Enjoy your time being single because I feel like that's when you learn the most about yourself.
Put that cookie down.
Yeah, very much that. Because you always want to see what kind of person you are alone.
Well, you really get to see what kind of person you are. So, hey, hold on. I'll change the tire when you grow some tits. Let's start with that.
Oh, can I say something nice
and then,
about that
No,
person?
I don't want you to say. Let me get this off my chest first.
Sorry.
My chest. Get the first part right.
Fat 10.
I'm just saying what everybody in the comments is gonna say. Be like, oh yeah, she's a like,
Is there a comma somewhere in that statement?
I hope not.
It would have to be a semicolon.
I just feel it's a little narcissistic.
It's a little narcissistic.
A little bit.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna give that person a 10, but
really,
good personality. Maybe.
Really, you're not. That's your problem.
I'm just saying.
Everyone else thinks I'm a 10. Some people even say 11, which is super cool because the scale only goes up to 10.
Well, celebrity is something like when I was doing a TV show, somebody said to me, "You're not a good-looking guy because you're on TV. You rank up there with firemen." I thought that was pretty cool.
No, firemen are gross.
Yeah.
I want a billionaire with a Bugatti who can change a tire.
That's
you should be okay with a high and tight, a fade, and only your top button. Done. That's go be who you are. Now, Bryan Johnson, you guys are gonna let me just hang there?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I was gonna call you a hair Nazi.
Comment, hit the like button. Like if you, this is one. Is it funny? Sure. Is it gross? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is really where we are. So, let's move on to.
I like the way you gestured because you were cupping something.
That's what you do with a 10, bro.
At the end of the day, this is what you got.
You take care of a 10. You cherish it. My femininity like a princess.
I ate the princess.
You got 17% of this.
I'm a princess.
In this school.
Look at me like a peach. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll move on with more horrible advice that is being, and this is the problem with the algorithm. You know, we always, if you want to know, watch the show. Tune in, check the references, we make them available, then leave. The algorithm is an artificial brain, and only because of this algorithm do you see things like that presented as anything other than the bearded lady. And it's the same as it relates to health advice. So if you're not familiar with this aging and lifestyle guru, Bryan Johnson, here's a quick refresher.
Right now is the very first time in human history where you can say with a straight face, you may not die.
You believe that?
Oh, there's no question.
It's hard to believe tech millionaire Bryan Johnson is 46 years old. But no matter his chronological
Just look
age,
at Magic Johnson.
He's striving for the biological age of an 18-year-old. His team of 30 doctors utilize all the latest tech. The plan is rigorous.
Now, here's the thing. None of this would matter if thousands of people weren't following this guy's advice.
Yeah.
So weird health hacks like he does plasma transfusions. He gets them from his son. He takes 111 daily supplements.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It only gets weirder. He advocates for genital shock therapy.
What?
Commonly known as staring at this picture of Gorlock. So that's the, yeah.
I think it works.
He measures his number of nighttime erections.
Oh,
Does?
man. So he's got to put something on, a contraption on his penis.
Yes.
Right?
I would suppose.
It's like a CPAP machine, but
unless he's waking up every time, like, don't wake daddy, hitting the ticker, in which case you're ruining your sleep.
Yeah,
you got like an Apple Watch.
He's got a night nurse. He's got a night nurse who's always got her hands around it.
He has an Apple Chinese ring.
Yeah.
Oh, you were so big.
Yeah.
Nightly erection.
After today's show, if I wore the Apple wiener ring, it would be dormant all night. Are you? It's like when Netflix says, "Are you still watching this?"
Wiener ring.
Wiener.
It just keeps falling off.
As long as it's made of like alligator.
Yes.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, it is. It's more expensive than crocodile because of the mineral deposit.
See, there you go.
And the scales.
And it's more pliable.
Sorry, I should not crocodile.
Pliable.
Cayman. Admonish me. Cayman boots are cheaper than gator boots, which is crazy because they have gator farms. You would think it wouldn't be. Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Admonish.
Now,
Cayman ain't as thick.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's really hard to find good man in gator boots. You only buy this Cayman knockoffs and shit. What's that, lizard? If you want to get with me, then make it real.
All right.
Guy's poor. He's got Cayman boots.
Yes.
And a Cayman cock ring.
I want a hat. I really, really, really want. I want a hostess.
So this week, now Johnson. So all of these things are being advocated and being flooded into your children's timelines. That's the problem. Remember someone out there said that the sauna would increase your testosterone by 600%?
Yeah.
So here's another one. Johnson made some waves now. Now it extends to these comments and thoughts regarding humanity?
We're right now in a moment, like the last moment where like things kind of have been how they have been, but they're about to change radically. And in this new future, we can't predict what's going to happen. We no longer have that ability. And so we're living in a zeroth world. And so Gen Zero is a group of multi-ethnic, multinational people who rise up and they say, we are willing to courageously step into the future. And we're willing to divorce or open to divorce from ourselves all human norms, all human customs, all human thought. And we're willing to say we're wide open about everything.
Eyes like a white lab
Absolute
rat.
Blank slate.
Yeah, he hates our species.
But this, by the way,
that's a guy who wants to mesh with machines right now.
A guy who transfused with his own son's blood, which that's the medical journal.
Yes.
Peer review.
Yes. Vampire.
It's just like, he hates humanity, but this is, you think that guy hasn't done some Botox or had some face work done?
I mean,
he wants you to believe it's because he measures his nighttime boners.
That's a
I just
dye
look
job.
like this. This is all natural. This is because I do genital shock therapy. You can't see the laugh lines. No, because you're joyless.
Yeah.
Now,
8, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump that up.
Yes, you do.
God, and he's shaved down. He's got somebody who shaves him with a straight razor. I'm so turned on, right? I mean, I'm so grossed out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think there's something very strange about this longevity, the quest for the longevity, which is really at the end of the day, you've got to be kind of anti-human because he wants to be the last guy standing. If he can caress the dying faces of everyone he knows with his low-fat, healthy hand.
Something to Christians, you need to understand when you say, I hate people. No. God says you're to love people, to be clear. You can be annoyed by people, but you are to love people. This man hates people. And this, by the way, mirrors exactly what you will see from all of these atheist communist regimes of all time. This is tried in Pol Pot's Cambodia. It was called Year Zero.
It sounds familiar? Generation Zero?
Yep. Year Zero. They eliminated all culture, tradition, right? That was a part of it. They outlawed private property, religious practice. They, during the Khmer Rouge, 1.7 million people died, which doesn't sound like a lot when you compare to that, but that's 21% of the population. And they weren't just killing people because they were Jews or they were handicapped. They were killing people because they wore glasses.
Yes, smart people.
They were intellectuals.
Yes.
The idea was always that we can create utopia on Earth.
Right.
And that is the most dangerous thing, because if you're going to try to create utopia on Earth, you're trying to perfect human beings, and you're getting rid of all their imperfections. And then the problem is you have a lot of people that are already beyond that. They've been too indoctrinated. You can't change them with a re-education camp, so they have to go.
Right.
We have to remove that. That was the communist mentality.
Just like that was in
Mao. That's what Pol Pot did. That's what all of them did.
Yeah. Well, the killing fields they actually had a killing tree. Infants and other people they were just bashed to death against a tree. Because at a certain point too, communism doesn't work, totalitarianism doesn't work, so you don't have the money to kill people effectively. And I don't know if you remember this too. This happened with Mao, by the way. The problem is when you determine that humanity is a problem, it has to be one person, one voice determining how humanity is a problem and how to fix it. Then these people get too entrenched in their lies, like, I don't know, genital shock therapy, adding a few months to your life. With Mao, remember they said it was actually the problem with all of this famine, it's all of these sparrows.
Right.
That's what they said.
What?
Yeah.
He said
it was the sparrows, because he had caused the famine. They said, no, sparrow. Sparrow caused no food, kill sparrow, solve problem. So people killed all the sparrows.
Wow.
Which then, of course, brought in more insects, which created more famine. And they had, you know how they killed the sparrows? They would bang pots and pans.
Oh, right.
Until the sparrows wouldn't land, which is cruel. They're about like, all right, let me bang, 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 bang. Oh, shit.
Yeah. But, we got to remember, you got to remind people, Larry Page, who was the founder of Google, accused when Elon Musk was raising the dangers of AI, making AI, And he said, this is not good for humanity. And Larry Page said something to the effect of, don't be such a, or, oh, I see, you're a speciesist.
Yeah.
Meaning you favor the human species over everything else, which means equivalent to being a racist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's to say that meshing with machines, sentient machines, isn't a better way forward, and maybe this sort of rusty biological heritage needs to go by the wayside?
Yeah.
And that's a godless notion. The
That's
idea
called
is that
playing God.
we can be God.
And then every now and then I listen to them, and then I see Gorlock the Destroyer, and say, you know what? Maybe they have a point. But then I think of Gorlock meshing with machine. That's not a mech warrior that I want to see.
No, I don't think she meshes. She just
Pacific Rim job. Huh?
She just absorbs the machine. Yeah.
Mug Club. You can smash that button right now. Join Mug Club. Tomorrow we have more investigative journalism going on. And none of this happens. You have Brian's show. You have the Hodgkin show. You have Alex Jones on Friday. You have Mr. Guns and Gear. You have our show on Friday. We're adding more and more in the investigative journalism unit. None of this happens without you. $9 to go mugless now if you want to try it month to month. Let's go on to other anti-human piles of human excrement. Ironically, they're anti-human, but they themselves are human.
Yes.
Self-loathing.
Although I'm looking at myself sometimes when the monitor comes on, and then I look at Bryan Johnson. I'd like that skin, please. I want luminescent skin.
You want luminescent
once I want
skin?
you to say, Brian, your skin looks so luminous.
You want to look like one of those creatures at the bottom of the ocean in the Mariana Trench.
Yeah, the guy with the dangling lantern to get,
That's my apple wiener ring. This is where it charges.
Angler Callen.
Yes, so hot.
Not to be confused with Blob Callen. So let me ask you this. We're going to run down the misdeeds of the dumbest members of Congress, your representatives here. At what point do you think you reach treason? At what point do you think you reach almost like desertion if they're supposed to be representative?
Yeah.
I know that everyone wants to say treason, right? Sedition was people taking a walking tour January 6th, and that's an opinion that you may hold. I disagree. I think that when you say I'm looking out for a foreign nation, not only above the United States, but in place of. In other words, we've gotten beyond the point of, hey, I'm looking out for another country as well. We can all benefit. Right. We are the world, which is horse crap to begin with. But now you're saying, I know that benefiting this country would be done at the expense of the country that I'm supposed to represent. I think that's when you cross over, and certainly everyone in the squad qualifies. So this past week has been a bad one for the squad plus one. Because now you have AOC, Ilhan Omar, right? Cori Bush, Rashida Tlaib, and then Jamal Bowman.
Yeah.
He's the plus one.
Well, he's squad adjacent.
He's squad adjacent.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know Cori Bush was part of the squad.
You always forget about Cori Bush.
Like a new
You do.
addition?
No, it's not a new addition. No? It's just Cori Bush is like the Joey Bishop of the squad.
Like the Ringo?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Ringo.
Where everything is some aquatic. Ringo wrote 2 songs, basically. Yellow Submarine and Under the Sea.
Yeah.
Good songs.
Right?
We tried to write a third one, and it was called In the Lake. And they're like, was everything aquatically themed?
I've had it with you.
It's my niche. It's who I am.
You suck.
Liverpool.
I only go forward. I go forward in the aquatic theme. I'm like a shark. I can't go back. Ringo, what is it with you?
Okay, so, and I know this because of my little children at bath time. I always find myself singing another Ringo song. I'm like, damn it!
Yeah.
So catchy.
Yeah, like
But empty.
Yellow Submarine because he have one. And I'm like, what do you want me to sing next? Like Under the Sea. I'm like, damn it, Ringo!
Yellow Submarine.
You were the original Cocoa Melon. So, Cori Bush. Here's one. We're squad. Okay, we're going to go through a really, really bad week. I think these people are guilty of treason. Collectively, we can charge them collectively.
So. Yeah.
Cori Bush is now under federal investigation for misuse of funds. Here's a clip.
In recent months, right-wing organizations have lodged baseless complaints against me, peddling notions that I have misused campaign funds to pay for personal security services. That simply is not true.
Okay, so we have the reference there from CNN. That's what's alleged.
She reading off her phone there?
Paid her husband for security. Yeah, she should read off her phone and be like, I did not pay my husband. I did not pay my husband for security, which now that I say that out loud, should probably be doing it for free, but I'm a bitch.
By the way,
he texted her.
Let me just be clear. She admits to paying her husband through her campaign and says it's totally fine because he's had experience.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that.
I mean, whatever. Just, he should do it for free. So, or you know what? Maybe not. Brilliant ploy. What's the male equivalent of a gold digger?
It's kind of hot, though.
I think that Gorlock's looking for a dude.
Oh, that's the kind of traditional male I like.
Right.
Someone who'll in the line of fire me.
But I gotta pay him.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
right.
pay you.
You need like 3 in the line of fire.
Carry me out like a bodyguard.
Covered.
Only it'll be with a Free Willy hammock.
He should just have a big pocket and she just tips him.
Yes.
Like it's free, but she just gives him. She goes, "Thanks for making me feel safe today." That's a 20.
Now, the husband is, of course, not licensed to provide security,
Nope.
nor do I understand is particularly good at it. Bush justified that she needs the extra protection, which may be true, despite being one of the loudest voices to defund. That's right, the police.
Yeah.
So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets because we're trying to save lives.
After that, all the biscuits were gone at Red Lobster. Yeah.
They were. By the way, social safety net's fantastic. Let's have a social worker provide you your safety.
I don't know. Just
I'm sorry that you've laid the ground rules. She said social workers should be called out more than the police. That's what.
Bitch, I'm Cory Bush, and it's scampi season. I gotta get my ass. You think I'm gonna go there without security? It's like Lord of the Flies with all-you-can-eat shrimp.
It's not like they ran out of steak at the Golden Corral, okay?
Yeah, that always results in a fight. Sneeze shield is just blood.
Oh, God. Multi-purpose.
Now we have AOC. So we go from Cory Bush to AOC. AOC said that funding needed to be ongoing, needed to continue for the UN's Refugee Works Administration, the UNRWA. Okay, UNRWA. Let's go with that.
Unbelievable.
This is what she said. Cutting off support to UNRWA, the primary source of humanitarian aid to 2 million Gazans, is unacceptable. Among an organization of 13,000 UN aid workers risking the starvation of millions over grave allegations of 12 is indefensible. The U.S. should restore aid immediately. So she said 12, like there were only 12 bad actors. The problem is this came after reports that linked 1,200 UNRWA workers to Hamas or Palestinian Islamic Jihad. 1,200. And then 12 specifically raided Israel on October 7th with those attacks.
Yes.
So it's like 12 were the special forces of anti-Semitic terrorism. 1,200 were like, you go kill
Just
Jews.
supporting them. Yeah. 12,000. Sorry. 12,000?
12,000.
12,000?
Yes.
12,000? I thought it was 1,200.
12,000.
See, that was me being...
12,000.
That's me, Mr. Conservative, with my estimate.
100 of the 12,000 employees.
Okay.
Yes.
Just multiples at this point.
So it's only 10%.
Only 10%, yeah.
10% don't spoil the whole... Oh, no, they do when it's genocide.
Yeah, it's
that's enough.
Yeah. There's a lot of
It's a lot.
12s here.
12,000 is a lot of
Yes, it is. And then the URNW, the schools that are run by them, they glorify actively killing Jews.
Oh, boy.
And these schools have been used by militants in the war. So here you go. This is just 12 people. Again, if let's say all 12 were teachers, that would be enough. Like it was if it happened to be a public school in Linwood, perhaps, or in Inglewood.
Inglewood.
Hawthorne, because I'm using your Los Angeles real estate lingo with adjacent.
Yeah.
It's beach adjacent. So if this were a public school in a bad area of town, I would say defund it. If there were 12 teachers saying, kill, stab all the Jews.
Right.
Because I think we're all anti that.
Very.
anti-stabbing of Jews.
Generally
speaking.
The rule, the exception. Our learning at the UNRWA schools. Here's a clip.
لأنه نعمل حرب إنه نفرجي اليهود إنه إحنا مش إنه إحنا مش شاطرين إحنا قوايا كمان.
إن الصهيونية هم أعدائنا وهم
on audio. It's all bad.
بيحكوا لنا هدول غدارين.
They're just clearing their throat.
بيحكوا لنا إنه هدول
They teach us that Jews are fickle, bad people.
إذا بطعن بدعس عليهم.
I don't believe that young man is of age to get a license.
I also think they're speaking in metaphor, guys. Can I just say?
Yes.
Yeah.
It might be a metaphor.
Yeah. And by the way, your propaganda is not even good. Like we are taught that Jews are fickle, bad people. Just tell the kids they're cheap. Send them to a Jewish toy store, and then that'll plant a seed, and then that's how you grow hate.
Yeah, but fickle is not a terrible thing. Like, it's like you guys are. I feel you're rather fickle.
Yes. First, you have to explain to a child what fickle means.
I know that's a big word
to get them to be upset by it.
Yeah, fickle's yeah. It's almost like I could handle that. If you told me I was fickle, I'd be like, ooh, that kind of hurts my feeling, but I can work on that.
Yeah, just tell them like the Jews want to take Blippi away.
Yeah, like I'm not going to be like, you're fickle. Why'd you stab him? He was fickle.
He was fickle.
Yeah, that's not a stabbable.
He was
offense.
fickle. What do you do with fickle Jews? We don't stab him. I see your point.
Well, that's why their shows showed that they killed Mickey Mouse.
Yes, exactly.
Right. But you're not getting a green light in D Block. It's not
forward.
like,
no.
Why are we going to Steve Crowder? Why are we going to stab Crowder? Because he was fickle.
He was fickle.
Fickle Crowder.
Green light him.
He was fickle. That's what you do with the fix. I call him fix because I don't have time to say fickle. So there are a bunch of countries now, including the United States, who are suspending funding to the UNRWA. But AOC thinks that that's a travesty of justice. There are also confirmed reports here. So I have to say unconfirmed to be clear, that allege AOC is demanding we restore funding for the Hitler Youth Foundation, the Osama bin Laden Freedom Camp, in a sequel to the all-girl Ghostbusters. So it's like she can't even get one right accidentally.
The last one was the worst.
Yeah. Let's go to Jamal Brown.
Oh, the guy who does the door?
Plus one.
Yeah. Okay.
The plus one.
Yeah, fire door guy.
Yeah. So he came under scrutiny now for being a 9/11 conspiracy theorist. There were a bunch of blog posts that, when people say like unearthed blog posts, I think this comes from Daily Beast. Is it unearthing at this point? Like, you ran a search online.
Yeah.
You said Jamal Bowman blog.
Yeah.
And you found it.
Yeah, it's not like they found it. It wasn't hidden where the golden tablets were.
Right. Yeah.
Where the Mormon
national treasure where you
Joe Smith or Joe, whatever his name was, who founded the Mormon church. It was found there with the golden tablets.
Exactly. Yeah.
They make it sound like it's
they unearthed it.
Andy Dufresne's like thick novel. Like this. There's a hollowed out space where your 9/11 conspiracy blogs used to. So
I was digging. I was digging a post. Yes. I found.
He wrote quite a bit about 9/11 being a conspiracy, including poems like this: 2001 planes used as missile/target the Twin Towers. Later in the day, Building 7 also collapsed. Multiple explosions heard before and during the collapse.
I think he meant more like ha.
Horrible haiku.
Oh,
you're
like Kanye, like ha.
I think the is his ha.
If it was Jay-Z, it'd be oh.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And he also
Yeah, that might have been mistaken as a yummy sound.
Yeah.
Somebody
he was eating a Butterfinger.
Yeah, or like this. You expect it to be bad, and then you go, Like, what? That's
I haven't had a Three Musketeers in a long time. I get it.
Hello?
What was that about the Jews? Oh, yeah, screw them. This is delicious. Is that nougat?
Nougat. Nougat is the poor man's candy.
Yes.
Nougat. Who invented nougat? They should build a statue of the guy who invented nougat and tear it down.
Yes, they should. I agree.
Nougat. I hate nougat.
I don't even know what it is. Bowman, he also promoted the 9/11 Truth or Documentaries Loose Change Zeitgeist. Full disclosure, Alex Jones helped produce Loose Change, just to be clear.
It's just strange bedfellows
It's
for
just
Bowman.
strange bedfellows. This is what happens. And according to Bowman, 9/11 could have easily been prevented if somebody just pulled the fire alarm. And so, hey.
Well, come on.
Is that...
Two things can be true.
AI, you can never tell if it's real.
No, you can never tell.
Deep fake.
Yeah.
So real.
Wait till you see the pornography.
With Osama?
Yeah. And Bowman. And Bowman.
And
yeah.
Small penis. That explains everything. That explains his anger.
I just thought he moonlit as a pizza delivery guy. Hit the like button if you think that Bowman makes a good, the perfect terrorist. Speaking of terrorists, another member of the squad, Ilhan Omar. Now, we talked about this earlier in the week, right?
Yes.
But now there's an update.
Well, what's the update?
Well, first off, she's been... let's refresh here. Remember the Somalia first speech? Here you go.
waddanka maraykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan marka taaska seexda reer Minnesota gabadhii Congress-a u dirsateen way idinka war haysaa sidaad idinka u dareemaysiin dantaas ay u dareemeen madaxweyne Xasan Sheekhna.
Now, she blamed after this because she, of course, was raked over the coals, where Ron DeSantis said she should be deported. I agree. She said it was a poor translation of the video, saying, it's not only slanted, but completely off. I wouldn't expect more from these propagandists. Here's the problem. The video with the subtitles that you saw, all references available at louderwithcrowder.com for every single show. We provide a bibliography. It was posted by the Somaliland Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Rhoda J. Elmi. This was from Elmi's tweet. The language Omar employed was regrettably unbecoming of both the office she holds and the constituents she represents. This is
Somaliland?
Somaliland, not to be confused with Legoland.
Somaliland.
Yes. Legoland they build. Somaliland, they just blow it up.
Who would go to that theme park?
You must have these many bombs
to ride. It's an area of Somalia, please.
It's Somaliland. Come on.
Somaliland.
I didn't name it.
There's a water park.
Brian?
Yeah?
I didn't name it. It's not my fault.
I'm just saying.
All right, look, you two guys, you can hold my beer because as former governor of Minnesota, I know about Somaliland. They were my constituents.
Really?
It's not a theme park. You trying to be a smart ass, right?
Yeah,
tough guy. Great. Yeah, thanks for your service there, buddy.
Yeah, why don't you buy me some pizzas?
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you shut your pizza hole there, Chief?
I bet you get some fluoride. You need some.
How about you come visit me in Mexico in my casa? It's like a racquetball court. I live minimalist. It's 4 walls. All right. We'll both go in. One of us will come out there, tough guy. Okay, buckaroo. I'll give you. If you're a betting man, who do you think's going to be coming out of there?
The guy with the deepest.
Got to be me.
The Navy SEAL who was in Predator.
That's right. It was an underwater demolitions unit at that time. To be clear,
UDT.
To be clear, Mr. Maxwell Smart. That's how smart you think you are. You're not clever.
Just keep asking questions.
I'll be leaving unscathed eating migas.
Got some migas in that dip.
It's where you crunch up some tortillas and eggs, asshat. But you wouldn't know because your pineal gland and all the fluoride in your tap.
Now, you have DeSantis said she should be deported. Also, keep in mind that Ilhan Omar married her brother. We just always want to make sure that you remember that.
That's a rumor.
It's not.
No,
it's
confirmed.
I know you're going to hate me for this, but I think she's very attractive.
It's confirmed.
I want her to yell at me in Somali.
No. Look. No one hates you. I think less of you, but I don't. I've seen your wife.
She's beautiful.
And you think that Ilhan Omar?
Hey, I'm just saying. With that, there's something about her.
You're virtue signaling with a pity compliment.
That's the worst. I want to argue with her about politics and then have makeup sex.
Right, yeah. And what do you think? Gorlock's a 6? Also, while we're talking about people who are traitors to their country, honorary squad member Nikki Haley still works for China.
I told them that if they would do this, that South Carolina would wrap their arms around them and take care of them. I now officially work for you. There is nothing that you could need that we won't make sure that we deliver.
How about human rights?
Fair.
Sorry, right clip.
That is the correct clip. Yes.
So let's bring this to a close here. This week, you had squad members who have misused campaign money. They've been out there championing the cause of terrorists, demanding more money for terrorists, waxing poetic about 9/11, or at least we discovered that. And then, of course, putting Somalia first, lying about it, saying that's not what I said, until the actual foreign affairs minister of Somaliland said that's exactly what that person said. Yeah. So they also lied about it. At what point do you say, okay, these people not only are not acting on behalf of Americans' constituents, they're acting against them? I mean, think about the Boston Tea Harbor. What happened to Boston Harbor? The Tea Party. I said Tea Harbor. Well, so they named it honorarily. The Boston Tea Party, like they were blowing people away because of a tax on a morning drink.
Yeah.
And by the way, you guys also know leathernecks. That comes from the fact that they were having a deal with piracy, some of which would be Somalia, largely the North African slave trade. That's why they would put on these leather protectors on their neck. That's where the term comes from. So it's not like they weren't aware of it. What do you think would happen with the founding fathers if they knew that they had a representative who was not only demanding money for a place like Somalia and terrorists, but actually funneling it from American funds? They would have been putting whatever their equivalent to the boo box is faster than you can say Rashida Tlaib's a terrorist, which she is.
And I think it's an important thing to realize that there's criticism. It's one thing to criticize policy or the United States. If you actually look at what they're talking about, what they're really doing is saying, if you are within the within the context of the United States. So if you're within the institutions, if you uphold the institutions, you are already guilty. So the solution is to tear those institutions down. That's what we're talking about here. So at the end of the day, if you are a part of the system, you're already corrupt, so we have to tear the whole system down and rebuild it in what? Well, it's socialism, etc., those kinds of things.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go with the Somali system. Let's go with the Palestinian system. Oh, that's right. They'd throw you off a rooftop.
A little chaotic.
Or I guess the Somalis, they'd keel haul you.
Probably keel haul.
Yeah, they'd probably keel haul you. Horrible way to go.
More effective.
And we're going to talk...
What's keel haul?
You know what keel haul is? Where pirates, they would tie you to a rope and they would drag you under the bow of the ship with all the barnacles and stuff.
Oof. Sounds like a crazy CrossFit workout.
Yes, it does. Yes,
You know what I mean?
It's their Metcon for the day.
Yeah, it's like the Tough Mudder.
We're going to make you do the Sally.
That's how you lived to 200 for, Mr.
I thought that was the Alice. No, that's 40 kip-ups. So,
barnacles.
We're going to talk about the concealed carry law now, that's just, or at least the study that's come out. Hey, take a guess how that's going, because this brings us back to our institutions. And you know what? Look, here's my problem with the squad, and my same problem with, I was going to say Krull. Gorgonzola, what's the name?
Gorlock.
Gorlock.
Hold on.
Gorlock.
Krull.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
genuine slip. Now I want to say Gorlock. Gorlock. And then I was thinking of small soldiers, the Gorgonauts.
Yeah. Yes.
Gorlock. The problem with Gorlock is the same problem with the squad. And it's the same problem with people who don't understand constitutional carry. Look, all of these people believe that somewhere there's a culture that deserves to exist. For example, yes, for Somalian culture. Yes, for Palestinian culture. Okay, then you have to accept the premise that we have a culture here in the United States that is centered on the American family, and by the way, the right to own firearms, because that's how we fought off the world's greatest superpower. It does, even if you don't think it's the right culture, I would argue it is, it's our culture. And I certainly would say that it's better than stoning people with a lisp or throwing women off of rooftops because they had the nerve to drive without a man running shotgun. That's what just accept that it's this culture. Why can you can comment below, why can every country have a culture, and no matter how homophobic, no matter how sexist, no matter how separatist it is, it's okay unless it's the United States, and then we take offense at the idea that people have the freedom to carry firearms, that people have the freedom to choose their own health care. It's our culture. Just accept that, like you do with Somalia, and then I would argue that it's better. And I wish Josh, actually, thank you for his service, was here to talk about his this story, the concealed carry. Where is he?
Well, I think he just got finished with the screen test because he sent us a video of it.
Oh, really? Another screen test? He's really swinging the bat. Let's see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Where in the world is Josh?
All right. This is a screen test for Russ. Whenever you're ready, Josh. It's a wrap. It's our guy.
Where in the world is
Josh?
You know what? He got one finally.
He did, yeah.
Gross violation of firearm safety, but that's what they're looking for. And of course, the sponsor of the show, the studio here, they're protected exclusively by Walther. Oh, that's right. So you can go to waltherarms.com. You obviously can't buy them from waltherarms.com, but you can find a dealer near you. Look, there are great firearms across the board. We've talked about this. At a certain point, it comes down to personal preference. But Walther has the balls to sponsor this show. And do me a favor. This is the Walther PDP. Just go run Google, Bing, bent back paperclip, that purple gorilla, whatever it is that you use. You can ask Jeeves. Walther PDP review. Yeah,
they're
just
great.
Go see it's the best kept secret in the firearm industry. They don't have these giant military contracts out there. So and you can try it. Try the Walther. Go to a local range. Try it. You'll buy it.
If you have the means, I highly recommend.
Yes. Yeah.
Walther PDP.
Their choice.
Sounds good.
We're pretty fortunate in that all the sponsors we have on this, which are very few and far between, are ones that either heard me talking about their stuff and they say, "Hey, can we become a sponsor?" Sure. We don't have to go after them. Yeah. And Walther is Walther's just one of them. They're awesome. All right, let's go to the constitutional carry segment. You said you have a lot for this, which you've been silent most of the day because you're hitting your cough button.
Not to cough. I know. Sorry, it's tough. I can say Gorlock every once.
I love the soda in your voice, though.
The soda.
You should do perfume ads.
Yeah, I should do some voice work when I get sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You and Elon Omar.
Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
Elon.
I think Calvin Klein is passé, right? It's no longer
Maybe
cool.
it is. What's a Dolce & Gabbana? Say that. I want to hear you say
Or Tommy Hilfiger?
Say Dolce & Gabbana.
Say it, Gerald.
Dolce & Gabbana.
Oh, my God.
Whoa!
I'm literally, I'm not even joking. It moved. Couldn't you just picture that?
Yes.
Like a Sophia Loren type scenario and a guy?
No, I
Just-
picture
she's like-
myself coming out of a pond.
Yes.
With my hair all wet, like there's a difference.
Well, you shouldn't.
Who's the 57-year-old with that golf physique?
Not a pond. That's
What?
stagnant water. You'd have leeches, like a river.
Okay, try it again and just say Bryan Callen as I pull out of the.
Yeah, say Bryan Johnson wears Dolce & Gabbana.
Ready? I'm going to pull out of the water.
Bryan Callen. Dolce & Gabbana.
Oh, I could see you in a ravine.
Do you see how sensual my face is?
Maybe a basin.
A basin's a well. A well with a flashlight.
Like grudge chick.
Help me. Bryan Callen.
Oh, that's the well. That's the well I put strychnine in. I was trying to kill my
The
neighbor.
new scent of fear. Steven. I can't breathe.
There's nothing I can do. Then kill me. Now give us a Dolce & Gabbana.
Dolce & Gabbana.
Kill me.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm cold.
You will.
I'm so cold. I'm so cold.
Oh, give us some music. Give us some music.
I've been here all night. Say, wet my mouth. I can't drink this water. I have hepatitis.
But you smell fantastic.
Dolce & Gabbana.
and just me sinking under the water.
And then Tommy Hilfiger comes in. He's like, "All the blacks get the out of here!"
Dracar Noir.
Boy, talk about a script. You guys may not remember that. Tommy Hilfiger was set for life until one interview. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't know all the blacks were going to wear my stuff."
Too honest, Tommy. Too honest.
And then all of a sudden, Dillard's pulled Tommy Hilfiger.
Yes, exactly. What's his name? The black guy from Shark Tank was putting on his shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dillard's, because you know how black that sounds.
Yes, exactly.
Dillard's for your hip hop attire.
Yes.
Their new hip hop line this fall hits red hot.
You remember that though, right? The Tommy Hilfiger interview?
No, but I
don't
love it.
Okay, someone bring it up
Yeah,
for
we gotta
Mug Club.
pull that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. I don't remember if it was Oprah or some show. He's like, "Well, I wouldn't have made it if I knew if I knew it was going to be worn by all the blacks."
Crystal did the same thing. They're like, yeah, we just don't want these rappers to keep featuring our drink in their videos. And we're like, okay, fine. They created Ace of Spades.
Yes. Yeah, and then they just then they got the wrong people. Like if you're trying to appeal to the black, you don't have the Ace of Spades.
Tommy Hilfiger sounds like he comes from Aryan land.
Yes. Yeah.
As opposed to Somaliland.
No, that's
a callback, guys.
It is a callback.
Not a good one.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just still stuck in the Dolce & Gabbana. That's going to be put in the soundboard. All right.
Dolce & Gabbana.
People, hey, look out there. Comment below. You remember the Tommy Hilfiger thing, right? Does anyone here remember that?
No.
You don't remember that? Okay, Matt.
I had one Tommy Hilfiger shirt when I was a kid.
Yeah, because you were one of the poors.
I was, yes.
You couldn't afford to fix your tooth that was shot out by your cousin with a BB gun. You can't afford
fair.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Also fair.
He was wearing all like the wrong NBA championship winner shirts that they give to all the kids.
It's South America.
I have Buffalo Bills Super Bowl champs jerseys. What are you talking about?
Tommy Hilfiger actually sold rugby shirts to
Yes.
Americans.
Yeah,
I remember when I
they
was
did.
high school, I was like, I got to get one of those rugby shirts.
Yes. Yeah.
So I look huskier than I am.
Yeah, and then you realize it is not flattering,
Yeah,
a
it
rugby
didn't
shirt.
work.
It's not like a baseball uniform that makes you look big.
Yeah.
Rugby shirts makes those monsters look smaller.
Just giant stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool in the 90s, though. I also had jeans with a lot of pockets. They were extreme. Now, constitutional carry. Okay. This is something that we've talked about quite a bit. My question for you is if you support constitutional carry. And what that means is that it's not a state issue. You have the right to carry. If you are a law-abiding citizen, you have the right to carry your firearm across state lines. Of course, I support it because the Second Amendment is not a state issue. Right. Sometimes you'll get people saying, hold on a second, I thought you wanted a limited federal government. Since they only serve to protect rights, not grant them, one of the recognized protected rights is the Second Amendment. You can comment. That's my opinion. Huge supporter of constitutional carry. All right. And some states pass it on an individual level. There's a national view of constitutional carry, this reciprocity, and then, of course, they kind of do this constitutional carry. I believe in Ohio is where you don't need a permit. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you can carry. So a few different layers here. All the references are available at louderwithcrowder.com. So if you remember, you had all these gun control advocates, sorry, not remember, they're still doing it, where they claimed that constitutional carry, now we have some studies, would dramatically increase gun violence. They called it wrong.
How many more lives have to be lost for the Florida legislature to finally get the message?
Students demand action, and several Florida House Democrats spoke against House Bill 543. The bill would remove requirements to have a permit or training to conceal carry a gun in Florida.
And you're more likely to become a victim of crime, including a victim of gun violence, in states like Texas, Tennessee, and Alabama, states where you can carry a gun in public, essentially unfettered.
This decision will get Americans killed. It is a severe danger to the American people and the domestic tranquility, which is in the preamble to the Constitution, right? This is not what a well-regulated militia looks like.
Police officers at the Capitol in Austin this morning voiced their opposition.
Makes our job, the jobs of our men and women, more dangerous.
And I just want to be clear, too, when I was referencing earlier, there's a national right to carry, which some people view as a national constitutional carry law. We're talking about state constitutional carry, which is a little different, meaning it relates to permits. And you have the right to carry if you're a law-abiding citizen. You don't need to go through a process. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you have the right to carry a firearm. Okay, so Ohio passed constitutional carry in June 2022. And now we have a study that irrefutably confirms that crime has dropped. And to be clear, I know I took Humanities 101 too. Correlation doesn't equal causation. That it dropped the crime rate directly as a result of constitutional carry.
A new study just released is now unearthing if the Buckeye State's constitutional carry law impacted gun violence in cities. The study looked at gun violence in the state's 8 largest cities. 6 saw less gun crimes after the law changed.
Now, just to be clear, I'm not going to say this bias, man. The study was commissioned after mayors of large cities in Ohio. They blamed constitutional carry for the crime in their cities.
That's the stupidest thing that I've ever heard.
But that's the starting point. That's the reason for the study. And then they missed it by that much.
Yeah, exactly, right? I lived in Cleveland for a little while. You can't blame anything on a constitutional carry law. In fact, a constitutional carry would just at least even the playing field a little bit.
You have to shoot the river when it's on fire.
Yeah, you definitely do.
I blame,
You fight fire with bullets.
That's incredible.
Shoot it's on fire. Unload your gun.
Yes.
Yeah, the segment of the population that is the least likely to commit crimes, including off-duty police officers, are the ones that you don't want armed.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to make sure I'm clear on the rules.
And let me be really clear. Even if it didn't reduce gun crime, I'd still support it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, hey, freedom is a bitch. I understand that. Even if it didn't reduce crime, I would support it. Just to be clear, before we get some Second Amendment people saying it doesn't matter. No. Now, this is also relevant to people who may be on the fence, because we do have some results. The biggest cities in Ohio, you have Parma, gun crime's down 22%. Akron, it's down 18%. Toledo, down 18%. Columbus, down 11.5%. Cleveland, down 5.8%. And I love for you to hit the like button.
Significant. That's significant.
Hit the like button if you live in a constitutional carry state and have had a positive experience. And
are you guys against some kind of training to own a gun?
Yes. Yeah.
Because you have to have training for a car. Why would that be?
A car is not a constitutional right.
Right, but why would you, just because it's a constitutional right?
It's a constitutional right. Just like you don't need training to know how to speak freely. That's the danger of it. You can speak like an asshole. But that's a problem.
But that's a little bit different than bullets, because
I would recommend
words and bullets are a little different.
But hold on, I would recommend training.
Yes, of course.
The problem, Brian, is that you have to go 3 steps down the road and go, okay, well, if I say that training is now a requirement, what are they going to make training include? Is it going to be prohibitive? Are they going to do it like ammunition? We're like, well, we can't regulate the gun sales, but we can regulate ammunition. We'll just buy it all off the marketplace, so you can have all the guns you want. You just don't have any bullets.
Right.
I guess because of my training in karate, that just didn't happen. I had to go through years of training.
Yes, you did.
Do you guys have a minute for that?
Karate is not a constitutional right, thank goodness.
Yeah.
What you're also not taking into account is that happiness itself is, in fact, a warm gun. So here's a trend.
I did not know that. A warm
It is.
gun.
Happiness is a warm
God,
gun.
I like cold steel. All right.
We have a national trend, too. So now we have very specific data by request from the mayors who said constitutional carry is ruining our cities. Well, here's the study. We don't want it. Nationally, we also have the same trend line where states that have implemented constitutional carry have seen fewer gun homicides. Let's look at Florida. They passed it July 2023. 2023 has seen a 10% decrease in gun deaths versus 2022. Alabama, they passed it January 2021. 2023, a 10% decrease in gun deaths compared to 2022. You saw this, by the way, in Montgomery in 2023 versus 2022 because some of these go to counties. Violent crime down about 10%. Birmingham, first drop in homicide that you've seen in 5 years.
Well, it's because they killed most of the people that need to kill, I guess.
That's probably true.
It just kind of ran out.
Well, unhoused neighbors, as Brian refers to them.
Yeah, thank you.
Georgia, they passed constitutional carry April 2022. 2023, 12% decrease in gun deaths versus 2022. Top 5 safest states have some form of constitutional carry. You may not know this. I've talked about this quite a bit. The state that I believe has had it the longest, or certainly one of the states, Vermont.
No idea.
Vermont,
you can carry?
Vermont, you need no permit since, I believe it's been since 1791. There probably has been some variations. You go purchase a gun, meaning you go through the background check, which everyone has to do when you purchase a gun. If you believe that there are no background checks, go purchase a gun. Then you'll say, oh, I was an idiot. Since 1791, you purchase a gun, you can carry it legally, open or concealed.
Yeah, it's because it's too cold to go outside most of the time.
New Hampshire, Wyoming, Maine, North Dakota. These are not bastions of right-wing extremism, just to be clear. These are the safest states. Now, I'm not saying that these are the safest states because they have constitutional carry, but that, combined with the trend line that we see in larger states, which will naturally have more crime,
right? Yeah.
States like Texas, states like Florida, we see a trend line of it decreasing violence. It's not really fair to compare Maine, let's say, to the entire state of Florida, but we do have some control groups. Okay, New Hampshire, Wyoming, Maine, Vermont, North Dakota. All right, this has been the case for a while. Now let's apply it to a very large state. All right, they're going to have some more crime because of the population density, large urban areas, gang violence. The trend consistently shows a decrease in overall violent crime and certainly gun crime. So hold on a second. That means that more guns in states, less crime. Can I get one more Dolce & Gabbana from you, Gerald?
Dolce & Gabbana.
9mm.
Firearms.
Yes. Perfect.
Really? And I'm at the bottom of a well and you just throw me a gun.
Yes, I do.
I need help. Wait, here you go. Shoot your way out.
Fashion yourself a little grappling hook.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, MacGyver that stuff. Let's
Come
go.
on, MacGyver. When they can carry are you allowed to carry a sword or a machete?
Yes.
No.
I do often travel with Danny Trejo, but I use campaign funds.
You have somebody else wield the machete for you.
Yes, I do.
Yes, it's Danny if there's a problem. Danny?
There are, by the way, there are laws too. It depends on the state as far as which knives you can have. Like in California, you'll have these companies that create these knives, and then this is the California legal knife, and it just looks like a whittled down version.
Yeah, it's all it is.
Yeah, well, California, I guess there's a limit to how long the knife can be, but I believe in California, you can look this up, you can carry a sword.
Yeah.
Like if the blade's over 4 feet long, hard to sit in a car. Throws off your whole look.
That whole law.
Too heavy on my hip.
People don't realize that law was lobbied by big nerds. I don't even want to. I prefer a sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
you can carry a sword as long as you're willing to wear a suit of armor.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. If you're doing cosplay.
Some kind of chainmail. Common misconception.
You got some.
You can keep your guns. Pussy. That's also something that you see a lot of people make, these arguments like Sean Penn. They'll say, a real man doesn't need to carry a gun. Really?
What about your security guard, Sean?
Yeah. What about a woman?
Yeah.
Is she a coward if she wants a security guard to have a gun or to carry a gun? Hey, I don't care if you're the toughest guy in the world. If there's 3 gang members, and let's assume they have, I don't know, a weapon as well, it doesn't matter. What, you think you're going to bench press your way out of it? It's the silliest. Okay. These are the platitudes that you see. I know you had some stuff that I didn't let you come in because
no. I mean, some of the stuff that I had was really the macro point, right? So they're going to come out with fear mongering every single time about constitutional carry or concealed carry or anything that has to do with firearms, and then they're going to come back and say because the violent crime is going up, right? Mm-hmm. And we've just shown you the studies that say that it's going down, but I guarantee you're not going to see this on CNN. You're not going to see it anywhere. You're going to just have them wait for the next shooting or the next problem to happen and then say we need to revisit and have some common sense gun reform. And what they'll do every single time, and I think we'll get to it here in a second with New Mexico, is say something to the effect of fully automatic and semi-automatic.
Yes, they conflate the two
right into that because that's saying pretty much every firearm.
This law that regulates anthrax and spoons. Well, hold on.
Yeah, one of those is not like the other.
Well, they spoon the anthrax in. I'm not sure that's how it works. So you see this in blue states. So again, despite the results, but also in gross violation of your fundamental freedoms, they still try and limit the public's ability to defend themselves. I wonder why. I don't know if you remember this. New Mexico's governor, there was a 30-day ban on carrying of firearms last September, and she's now back at it. This is from 2024.
This is the largest public safety package ever presented.
Still wearing a mask, huh?
Certainly in a 30-day session.
Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham unveiling 21 bills as part of her public safety legislative agenda. The big focus? Guns. Her firearm legislation includes raising the minimum age to buy or possess an automatic or semi-automatic firearm from 18 to 21,
automatic or
extending the waiting
semi-automatic.
period to buy a gun to 14 days, regulating the manufacture, possession, and sale of assault weapons, and prohibiting guns in polling places as well as parks and playgrounds.
So just to be clear, that's saying machine guns and all other guns except for pump shotguns and some revolvers.
Bolt action.
You mean bolt action?
Yeah.
Okay. All handguns, effectively. Think about that. Automatic and semi-automatic. And you would be amazed how many people out there have no idea that semi-automatic means you pull the trigger and boomstick goes bang one time.
Yes.
Because it's scary. Semi-automatic. Oh my God, it's like a self-checkout. Life's going to be ruined.
Exactly. That and assault rifles.
Right. Assault. Yeah.
I'm like, just define it, please. Somebody.
They say assault weapons because assault rifle is a military term. Assault weapon is even broader and means nothing. Assault rifle means it has selective fire in the military. Assault weapon just means anything that looks scary. It's absolutely absurd. And then they use this to infringe on your rights. Just think about that for a second. Yeah, 30-day ban. What? Carrying firearms, period. You can't. So they just said you don't have the right to at all, which if you look back at the Supreme Court's case of Heller versus D.C., those were the dissenting opinions, that private citizens have no right to own firearms. Let's be really clear about the argument here. It's not even about automatic, semi-automatic. It's not about whether you can have a tank. It's not about any of those things. It's not about whether you can open or conceal carry. It is about, if you look at the Supreme Court case, whether you have the right to own a firearm as an American citizen at all. Yeah. When the rubber meets the road, the legal argument, it does not hold water if they say, well, if it has this trigger. It's not about an assault weapons ban. It is about whether you have the right to own a firearm at all. So if you line up with the left, ultimately, the end of that trail is you have no right to own a firearm. We have other states that you see this is what they believe. Obviously, they try to do it in baby steps. California, you had Newsom signed a law prohibiting carrying in more than 24 public places. Colorado, they passed a law restricting ghost guns, which if you don't know what that is, it's like if some parts are actually, if you assemble them or you create homemade parts at a certain portion, it becomes a ghost gun. That being said, ghost guns, they get a bad rep. You can't help who you fall in love with.
Feel like that. Is that
such a better version?
That's love.
Was that it?
That was.
Is that the sequel?
That's yeah. You know what? All right. I don't care. Tomorrow we have. I think we've made our point. Tomorrow we have the marijuana grow farms, the undercover video.
That's what
the
I was going to
communist
bring
Chinese
up.
government.
Yeah, on the way. So the Oklahoma City stuff. Watch that video tomorrow, and then look at what we're doing with our borders, right? And see that you have these people kind of invading our country. I know you've got the Secure Our Borders shirt on right now.
Yes, we have these new shirts at the CrowderShop.com. Yeah.
Get over here. So yeah,
we're all sick, so we're sloughing off muscle.
Come back to me.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Come and take it.
The guy, the outline, the guy looks a little hippie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean? He should be more V'd out.
Yeah. He's holding a rifle. It's what you do. You're shifting weight.
That's what I say. It's
Did
hard
you guys
to
say
find
I want an
Russia.
endomorph holding a rifle?
So Brian, and we're going to play Spot the Transy on Mug Club because, of course, we cannot play this if it's on YouTube. You can join Mug Club. Brian Callen is going to be at the Louisville Comedy Club March 1st and 2nd. You can watch the show here on Tuesdays. And before we leave, because you have the, let me say this first. If you're watching on Rumble, click that button, you join Mug Club. I'll say piss off YouTube, but don't hit it yet.
Don't hit it.
Because I want the last thing. I want Gerald in his Dolce and Gabbana voice to say your shirt. So we'll leave you with this. You can get the shirt at CrowderShop.com. And when you see it, I want you to think this.
Come and take it.